your boy JD Nochill.
And it's your girl Chelsea.
And it's a Nochill session. We got my guy Jarrett Holt in this bad boy.
Woo,
Feeling, bro?
Jarrett Holt, a.k.a. BOYCHAD. We are live. We are here.
How we living, man? This guy right here. I met this guy back when I got signed to this agency. We ain't gonna talk about that, but
some industry stuff.
But what I noticed about my guy is that he moves. He fund his own shit. He ain't waiting on nobody to give him nothing right now. He's like, oh, you gonna give me something? Are you not? Okay, I'm gonna go figure it out over here. Which I thought was commendable of my guy, and I was looking like, yo, this dude, I gotta do something. I gotta do something on my own. Damn it, I gotta produce something on my own. So I want to let this guy know that he's inspirational. Yeah. Little do he know the way he's moving and the fact that he's making a way for himself, and he's not waiting on somebody else to make a way for him.
That's it.
Again, making a way for himself. And not waiting for somebody else to make a way for him. So the times where you've probably been on TV, before we get into your origin, you have mainly put yourself on TV more times than none.
Yes, I have.
So where'd you get that spirit and that energy? Tell us, like, some people are always looking for, not necessarily a handout, but they think that there's a proper channel. And you said, you know what, I'm utilizing these channels, but that's not working for me. So where did that spirit come from?
I think I've always been creative. Okay. So the thing with me is that ever since I was a little pea pod, coming into this world and stuff, I used to make like all kinds of creations, paper mache airplanes. I actually wanted to be a pilot at one point. I was just very creative, but then I realized I don't want to fly the plane. I want to like build the plane. Right. And so my mom, she like put me in like acting, singing, and like dancing classes when I was younger, but she kind of did it in the summer for me to just like have something to do. She didn't actually think I was gonna like love it. And so I was begging her to take me all the time, and I went to Amazing Grace Conservatory, ran by Wendy Raquel Robinson. And so as you know that she's a star in her own right, and she runs an amazing school academy, and it's in the hood too. So, and it was really affordable. You go and you basically just act, sing, and dance all day, and then at the end you put on a show. So after that, like different celebrities would come in, like Raven Simone came one time, and they would literally talk to us and do little like workshops with us. And I was like, wait a minute, this is like a viable career to like be on TV, to be in music, to be in dance or whatever. I just thought when I was younger, I don't know, maybe I was brainwashed, is that the people that were on TV that I was seeing were like the chosen ones. Right. Like you were born on the screen. Does that make sense?
No, it almost seems unobtainable. But then you had an opportunity to let you know, oh, baby, you can do this too.
Absolutely.
And here you are.
Doing it. Here I am. I'm here.
Just the fact that you figured out a way. At one point you thought it was unattainable, and I want y'all to know he thought it was unattainable. And then at what point did you realize that it was?
Really, I realized that it was attainable in probably high school for the first time, because I started a YouTube channel in 2009, or actually 2008, but I wasn't consistently posting till 2009, and to the point where, because I went to Catholic schools and yeah, I mean, it was very strict. It was almost cult-like, because they were, I'm like, what I do in my free time is what I'm doing in my free time. I was just doing stupid skits, like playing different characters, a nerd, like Chad was one of them, and that kind of turned into like my music persona, like BOYCHAD, so it's a little bit dark and goth, but like still, And so I was making these characters, and the principal came to me one day and was like, I'm gonna get your YouTube channel shut down. Like, you're not allowed to do this, and you can't do this. And I'm like, what?
Wait, and it had nothing to do with the school?
Nothing to do with the school at all.
Nothing. They were just on your YouTube page as you would. Wow, that's interesting. I didn't know they had that kind of say so.
Well, they don't, and I knew it, but it's like to even try to scare me like that, because some people would have been like, okay, I'll stop stuff like that, but
Not you, honey. Not you.
I was like, okay, well, you could go on ahead and try, but like, I'm gonna keep doing this. So I kept doing it, and just kind of getting followers on the internet and like building up like a fan base. And actually one of the people that I talked to back in the day was Charlie Puth, and like he's like really big. I have a song with Charlie Puth actually, which is really funny. So like there's a lot of people who were cultivated off of YouTube. So I knew, I was like, if I stop doing this or let someone like take this away from me, then I'm gonna have no choice but to like wait for an opportunity to present itself to me. So you kind of have to like build your own arc, and that's what I did.
That's commendable, and it's insane because everyone who comes through here, they have a similar story of someone at some point in time coming in trying to shut them down. And you have to say to yourself, no, baby, I'm walking in my purpose. I'm doing the things that make me happy. You have no say here. And that's what makes it really dope. Is like, no, I'm going to keep on. And you've cultivated that. And now you are directing and creating. If you guys are not following BOYCHAD,
follow me.
Yeah.
You're in for a treat, because I was lurking on your Instagram page. And I just want to ask you about the shoot you did with the dolls. That was creative beyond. I mean, that's what.
Which one? Because I have so many. It's funny. I love like weird Barbie dolls and creepy porcelain dolls.
When I make my film, because I already know, because my guy back home, T. Harris, man, when I make my horror film, sir, I can tell you who I'm finna hit up.
Please
to be the producer.
Do it.
Because you have a creative side.
Very creative.
Thank you.
No. And then the freedom to see that it was not, because I feel like your mom could have definitely stifled that in you as a youth, but she really gave you room to flourish and grow and continue to create. But it's the one where you guys are on the subway. Is she still very supportive of you now?
My mom, it's funny because I feel like she thinks I'm crazy half the time. But she doesn't care. She just knows she's not going to change me. She's like, all right. But she's admitted to me, but she'll tell me all the time, like, oh, wow, you're actually very talented. I'm like, she'll always say that, like when she'll hear something or see something, she's like, oh, you're, but I think that's because she's a professional. She's a dentist. She's also a black woman. So at the end of the day, she's like, you have two choices here. You need to either become a doctor, a lawyer, or like something. You need to, guaranteed income. And I get it. Because, like, your parents want the best for you.
They do. That's all they want.
But, no, she does think I get a little too dark sometimes, like, with the fake blood and all that stuff. But then she gets it because she knows it's just art. Like, I'm not, like, over here, like, praying to Satan or something.
Well, listen, as a black mother, I'll be like, well, what is my baby doing?
I know.
Where is this going?
Because, again, also, it's like, I'm pretty sure, since it's not the norm, people look from the outside looking in. Is that your son over there doing all that stuff? And she got, he's been creative. He's been creative. But again, we got to understand that and take that narrative out. And then it's just creativity. It's just art. You know what I'm saying? Because again, if it was a guy named Sean or Charles or something, he's just a rock star. He's a rock star, or he's just a rock and roll guy.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's like,
it would be fine.
Why can't black, boys be like alternative and cool and punk rock and also still? Because that's the thing too, is that I love pop music, I love rock music, but at the same time, I listen to like rap music all the time. I listen to Drake, I listen to Lil Wayne, I listen to like Pooh Shiesty and all, what I mean?
All the ratchet.
Like DaBaby, even though he's in some hot water right now, where, I still, like, what I'm saying, I really listen to, like, rappers and stuff, and so when I listen to that, it's like, I think, because I'm black, I can't do both. People, like, have to put the label on you. They have to say, like, even when I walk into certain studios, like, music-wise, or anywhere, they're like, oh, do you rap? And I'm like, I do, like, pop music, like, alternative, like,
They trying to get you to rap or something?
Yeah, and I can rap.
Don't get it twisted.
But
I think it's the box that people want to put people in, because when they don't know where to put you, it's like they don't know what to do. It's just like, treat me like a normal human being.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know. I really think, though, too, is my experiences in Catholic school, like, got me to rebel. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I would think anybody in Catholic school got you to rebel. They doing too much.
My high school literally got shut down because priest raping boys in the school. And I know that's real heavy, but I just had to put that out there.
No, we go there.
Because
we won't take this out.
I just had to say it because it's like a real thing, and it was a whole bunch of shady stuff going on. The archdiocese actually got sued. And so I was displaced a lot. And literally when that went down, well, I didn't know it was taking place. None of the parents knew it was taking place, but apparently something was happening behind the scenes. So when it all blew up, we were literally sitting in class and like news reporters came to the school and everything. I was literally on Telemundo. They were in my face. Yes, I was. And I'm sure it exists somewhere out there, like on the internet. But they even like finessed me, like the reporters, right, to like get information out, because they were like, do you know anything about like the boys that have been like molested and taken advantage of in the school by the like the brothers and the priests? And I was like, what? No. That, because I thought something else happened when they were calling us out. I was like, who died? Or like,
understandable. You didn't think it was something left that, like, especially now that
they interviewing children. No, you're not even supposed to be interviewing.
That's what my mom said. So that's where the drama happened. So they were like, oh, we're not going to air this or anything. They literally aired it in the moment. My mom is at work in the like break room, and she's like watching the TV. And then she's like, what?
My
and
child.
Then she called the school.
Oh, Black Mama too? Oh, boy. She set it off.
Yeah, because they literally aired footage without my consent and like had me on the air.
On a molestation case. It's all kind of
like that. It's crazy.
That's too much.
It was insane. So I think after seeing that, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna have to rebel a little bit. I don't know why. Like, I just wanted to rebel, and I think it made me feel whole, because I feel like nothing is what we think it is. Like, and I just don't like playing by the rules.
What powers you to create? You create some of these really dope, detailed images. Where does that, I mean, when we say someone's creative, it's like, okay, but what powers you? What gives you, what drives you to continue to create?
Wow. I would say what drives me to continue to create is the eyeballs. Like, I kind of am into, kind of like Lady Gaga was like, she lives for the applause. Yeah. It's like, it's not even the idea of fame, but it's more of like, I feel like I want people to receive my art and like be impacted by it in some type of way, and I feel like I haven't gotten to that point yet. So I'm like, I have to keep creating.
You're an entertainer though, so I mean, the core of it, you like to entertain. You know what I mean? So I would think also you like to keep creating. You just want, in a sense, that fan base or just your presence to grow as a entertainer.
Definitely,
a true entertainer. You know what I mean? So
definitely, it's hard though. It's hard because with me, I always say, like, when you really are like a creative. You know, like, you do this with or without cameras. And so it's hard for me sometimes to find the balance between, because, like, I sometimes make clothes, for example, or shoes. I made a pair of shoes one time, like some really dope shoes. Like, they have Swarovski crystals over them. And, like, they just look really good. And they took me about 3 days to, like, create. But it took longer because everyone kept asking me. I posted little previews on Instagram, and they were like, make a video on it, make a video. So I mean, I had to set up my camera, set up my lights, pay attention to my angles. So it took me out of the creativity part, because I listen to like Dirty Sprite 2 and like Future and stuff. And like, you know, when I'm creating, I listen to like really good, like ratchet, like rap music and stuff. And it calms me. And before you know it, like, it's done. But if I have to worry about, like, I'm entertaining and I have to show the camera the thing.
That's a lot more.
And the angles, it's like,
and it feels like it doesn't flow organically.
It doesn't.
I feel that way about comedy. I can be funny amongst you guys, right? If we were just going to eat, and then when you say, okay, lay it out on paper and then recite it to people and then do it that way and then still have it feel natural, it's like, well, it doesn't feel natural anymore. It doesn't. It feels forced. So I really get that. It's like, okay, but then at the same time, like you said, you do want people to see your art, but to grow that fan base, I do feel like you've got to show those baby steps. They want to see what you're doing, and it's like the balance, finding that balance.
Especially now day and age where it's like everything is on social media.
True.
You have to. It really sucks, But I like how our phones have gotten high enough quality to where, like, I feel comfortable. Like, I do auditions now on my iPhone. I
As you should.
do everything on my iPhone. Like, unless I don't really use any other camera unless I'm, like, posting, like, a YouTube video or something.
And the thing is, you have access to it. You just realize, I'm going to make this simple. Correct?
Well, it's too much. Especially the cameras that I use. I don't just use, like, regular DSLRs when I'm really trying to go for quality. I'm using, like, Red cinema cameras.
Oh, yes.
So it's like battery packs and this and screens, and you literally have to put together an entire, like, build. You have to build a camera, and then it, like, takes, you know, a few minutes for it to power on. And it's just...
Now,
listen, it's a lot. People don't realize what's that song that says, or it's like a little TikTok song, but it's like, it takes me fucking hours.
I don't know, but that is true. Because again, he's just talking about the setting up part. He still got to edit. He still got to, and the editing takes longer than the actual shooting portion of it.
That's a day of work in and of itself.
You know what I mean? So just to kind of transition, man, what is your how did you get into the music scene like you are now? Because you got some nice streaming numbers, sir. You got some nice streaming numbers.
Well, so
I love it.
I got into the music scene. I think I've always been, like, fascinated with music. I've always been a fan of, like, alternative artists like Marilyn Manson and, you know, the Smashing Pumpkins.
I can feel that.
Stuff like that. But then, of course, Michael Jackson, Prince, like, you know, people from that time, and, like, just watching how back then, when I used to watch, like, a Madonna video, for example, like, it was real art. Like, when you saw Madonna, it was a movie.
Art.
It was a movie.
Jackson, for sure.
And I feel like now everyone's just with their homies standing on top of a car for 2 minutes, and then the video's over. And I'm like, that's not entertaining to watch.
Don't get the butt naked hoe.
Exactly. And you were better off just not even posting a video. You could have just had the song out until you could have either, if it's a budget issue, then save for that. But, like, don't just put out anything. And so we have a problem now with quantity over quality. And so to get back to my point, because this all connects, is that, like, me getting involved and, like, watching that back in the day, I was like, I want to film music videos for other artists. Mm-hmm. So I started to do that in 2010, but it was getting, and I started with my cousin, Kira Nova. She's a really dope artist. Like, she's super dope, and, like, we get each other. So it was great, like, working with her, and I'm still gonna work. She moved to Austin, so I'm like, please come back to LA. But I worked with people who are like, they want to work with me and my cool style, and then they're like, oh, well, that's too dark, or that's too weird, and that's too this. And I'm like, you could have just gone on Craigslist then and gotten you, like, a basic average Joe director if you wanted a basic video then. Right. Because my ideas are going to see things through a different lens. Yeah. So I got basically frustrated with people not trusting in my ideas, that I was like, I'm gonna make music and I'm gonna do them to my own stuff. Yeah. You know, and so that's what I did. And then now that I'm doing it with my stuff, everyone's like, oh my God, that's such a cool idea. And I'm like, I gave you this idea like 10 years ago. I'm just like doing it now, you know. So,
but maybe that was the intention all along, was to take that great idea and give it to yourself. And now when people see it, and I mean, I feel like that's just the nature, like we were saying with social media. When people see it, now they want to jump on the wave. Like, sir,
you lead by example.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Now, how does it feel also? Because how long you been in the game?
Oof. A long time. I love to say 10 years. I like to give it an even 10. Yeah. It's been longer than that, but I want to say when I've been actually taking it seriously, 10 years.
Okay, and then at what point did it become profitable, the fact that you've been in the game for 10 years?
Like 8 years ago.
All right, so I want people to understand that.
Yeah,
I want people to understand that.
Yeah.
So you mean to tell me it took you of 8 years of hard work, consistency, life as well?
Well, so it was
outside of any life
it
thing.
It started to get profitable 2 years in, but I would say like money to pay rent and stuff, probably around that, yeah.
But even then, But even then, to be able to keep going, you know what I mean? Because life is still happening. In those 8 years, you still got to deal with this. You still got to deal with that. You still got to deal with this. You still got to deal with that. And you say, you know what? I'm gonna keep pushing. Because this is what I love. This is what my spirit is. This is what my passion is at. I'm gonna keep pushing. That's very commendable and honorable of you, sir. And I want people to understand, it took him at least 8 years of consistency, no matter how microwave this new industry is now. 8 years of consistency and creativity of 8 years. He's still doing it now to be able to make to where it's profitable.
Yeah, honestly though, and it's funny, along the journey, I've had people tell me like, producers I've worked with, different people, like they'll hit me up. Like I've had different spikes in my career. Like there was that one point when I was getting about, like 4 years ago, I was getting about 2 to 3 billion impressions a month on my videos.
What's up?
Yeah. I was being viewed at least 600 to 800 million times a month. And I have the statistics that I can pull up.
I got the numbers, man.
I got the receipts.
I always bring receipts.
Always.
Demographics, breakdowns, countries, cities. And when that was happening, I was having a lot of like viral videos. I mean, it was crazy back to back. Like I would post a video on Facebook and wake up in the next day, like it would have 60 million views. And like I was in college and everyone's like, oh my God. I had old hater ass friends and people like hitting me up like basically saying like, are you buying views? And I'm like, yeah, I'm buying hundreds of millions of views. If I had that kind of money to buy, first of all, fake views, which don't even help the metrics. So if you know anything about algorithms and stuff, yeah, you can buy the numbers to see the numbers, but it's not having a real impact on your growth. So no, I'm not doing that. And plus, how am I buying it when the only reason why you know this is going viral is because your friend that I don't even know is sharing my stuff into your feed. So just use your brain, you know, and old producers like, oh, you're still making music, or this you and you know, so, but it's like when you're up, everybody wants to be in your face. And then when I had my downturn, cause some stuff happened. I
got you.
Yeah.
Some stuff happened.
Life.
Shout out All Deaf Digital.
I don't. We don't speak for none of that. But again, life happened. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm just saying. And so that just that's a downturn. And so you have ups and downs in your career, but it's the people who are still around when you're like low and whatever. But even during my low moments, I'm still going. Yeah. I never gave up. I still was like, I have to be consistent. I have to keep going, and that's what I'm doing.
Where does BOYCHAD want to be in 5 years?
Okay, BOYCHAD wants his own show.
Yes. Is that what you're ultimately working toward?
BOYCHAD wants a record deal with Interscope Records.
Come on, say the label.
Tagging that.
Yeah, specifically Interscope Cherry Tree with an imprint Dark Room, because Dark Room, like,
he knows it.
Well, because they managed Billie Eilish, and I feel like me and her, like, she's like
similar
dark but
style,
cool alternative pop, but then obviously the big kahuna who funds it is Interscope. I would love that. And then plus, and I think Interscope works well with like weird artists like Missy Elliott and like people who have like have a vision for something different.
Who are real artists like you said.
And
Missy is an artist.
Creativity at its finest.
Yeah, I mean, she said they weren't trash bags that she had on, but I don't care what it was. It looked so sick, and that's what I'm trying. Like, turn trash into treasure. We can all take advice from Missy. Also, I would want my own. So I would want 2 different types of shows. I want my own reality show, actually, like my own reality show. Like it could be something like The Flavor of Love, like a dating. It could be like that, or something like that. And then I want like a scripted, like something like American Horror Stories. It would be.
I can see you on that
because I love Ryan Murphy's work, and I'm just like, whoa, this is like super dark and sometimes gory, but the way it's shot and the storyline, I'm like, this is insane. And then I love how he kind of like took Tyler Perry's formula of like, using the same actors over and over. It doesn't matter if you die. You could come back and get your job back.
It's a different story. Each season is a different story. And that's what I did love about that. And I can actually see that too. Yeah. And last but not least, as we closing out, man, what is something that you would tell your younger self if you could? It seemed like you started early anyway, but what is something that you would tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self. That's such a hard question.
But like this, what would you tell the youth, anybody who's following you? Because you have a lot of followers.
Oh,
what would you tell? Okay. What would you tell people who follow in the same footsteps as you?
I would tell them to. It's cliche to say not to give up. So I would say even more importantly, if you're feeling like having thoughts of like depression or doubt, just let those feelings in, because that's what I did, and it actually helps. Like sometimes if you just try to fight against the grain, it has the opposite effect. So sometimes what you can do is like allow those dark thoughts in. Say, I'm gonna give myself 30 minutes, I'm gonna give myself an hour, or I'm gonna give myself the whole day to be a depressed bitch and like just seriously let it happen. But tomorrow, that's it. And that helps me. That helped me. Maybe it'll help somebody else. I don't know.
I get that you're honoring where you are.
Yeah.
I get that. We are constantly saying, you got to be positive, you got to go. And then sometimes you're just like, oh, I don't feel like it. Ooh. I don't feel like that. And that's a lot of stress and pressure. So false positivity. False positive, taking an hour and saying, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. I am stressed out right now, and in this hour, I'm gonna smash some chips and some Reese's and whatever those
let
things
yourself
are.
Cry.
Let yourself cry. I get exactly.
Anything.
I get when you said let the dark in. I was like, wait, hold up. But then you explained it. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna take me a day.
Yeah. Not like I'm gonna go jump off a bridge type thing. You know what I mean? Because some people because I've gotten those thoughts before where it's like not even dark on the dark side, but more of like the urge like you're driving a car. It's like, I could like just drive off a cliff right now. I don't know why our minds go there, but at least for me, it's like, it's more of just, letting the dark in, but putting a time limit on it, because I feel like sometimes it will consume you and then you'll start to use it as an excuse to like why you're not doing anything. Like, and then you don't want to be all medicated and stuff. Like they tried to give me all types of antidepressants and stuff. I personally feel like it can help some people, but for me, no. I was like, I have to stay away from that. And I had to find coping mechanisms.
I feel like medication can sometimes, stunt creativity. Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm not an advocate for it. And I'm so glad that, number one, you came here today. You shared your story. This has been absolutely awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I would say we're going ahead and close out, man. Again, I want y'all to make sure y'all check out my guy, BOYCHAD. Check out his social media tag below. He definitely moving, definitely creative, definitely an artist, and he's only gonna get bigger, all right? Because he's still moving. He's still moving. It's your boy JD Nochill. And it's your girl CJ.
And it's been a Nochill session. Again, shout out to my boy BOYCHAD for coming in today, for showing us love and gracing the mic, man. We up out of this bitch. One.
What's going on? It's BOYCHAD, and it's a No Chill session.